Sometime last year, I'm in the gym, right? One of the very first times I'm in the gym. I just got in a membership at a gym in my city, about like 30 minutes away. I'm like so excited. I'm like, I'm gonna start going to the gym. I'm gonna start pushing up some weights, put on some muscle, get nice abs, nice aesthetic physique. I'm super excited. I go to the gym. I go to the gym and I start working out, right? So one of the first workouts I'm doing is shrugs, right? So the shrugs that I'm doing are meant to work out the upper traps, right? Which is just like this part over here and a bit of the neck, right? So I'm doing the shrugs. I'm like 1-2 sets in. This one massive guy, one of the guys who I met at the reception when I was getting my membership, he comes up to me, right? And he's kinda got this face where he's like puzzled. He's like, what's going on? He comes up to me as I'm doing my set and then he stops me. He's like, what is that for? And he's kinda laughing, right? He's like, what is that for? I'm like, oh yeah, it's like to train the traps, for the upper traps. And then he laughs. He's like, have you ever worked out before? Have you ever done anything before? I'm like, oh no. I mean, I've been in the gym for a little bit. I kind of know. I've lifted the weights a little bit, but like not really, right? And he's kind of laughing and he's like, no, don't do that. Go over there on the bench press, right? Go over there, do bench press. Do you know how to do bench press? I'm like, yeah, I've done bench press before. He's like, go on the bench press, do bench press, and after you're done, come find me on that other bench over there. I'm working out with a bunch of my other friends. Come find me there, and then I'll show you the other exercises that you should do, right? And I'm kind of confused because I'm thinking, how have you find it so absurd that I'm working out my upper traps, right? Like upper traps are literally like one of the most aesthetic muscles that you can work out. You found it so weird, so strange that I'm working out upper traps to the point where you're like, don't even work out the upper traps completely. Go do like something else, right? But anyways, I went over because I didn't have the confidence at that time to tell him, nah, I'm just gonna do my own thing. You do your own thing, right? I didn't have that confidence because I'm new to the gym. He's obviously been working out for years, several years, like 5-6 years on end. He's like a big power lifter, right? So I go over to the bench. I do like one set of like 10 reps. And as I'm resting between my sets, I'm looking over to that guy and his friends. And they're doing bench press as well. So they're doing like 2-3 reps of like heavy bench press, right? Like 3-4 plates of like bench press, 3 reps. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking over to him, that guy has a shit physique, right? The physique that guy has, I would not want to have that. Like, if you told me that day that if you work out for 5 years straight, 5 years consistently in the gym, you're going to have a physique like that, I would have left and never came back to the gym. That guy and all his friends, by the way, they all had like a shit physique. They had the powerlifter physique where they've got like a big stomach, they've got like a huge torso, like a Roblox character or some shit, a huge torso and like small arms, right? And none of the muscles that I want to develop, for them, they were not developed, right? They didn't have abs, they didn't have upper traps, they didn't have neck, they didn't have any of this, right? And I'm looking over at him, I'm like, okay, that guy's got a shit physique. He's telling me to do bench press. His friends, they've got shit physiques. They are working on like 3 reps, right? I don't know much about gym, but what I do know is that I do not want to look like that after 5 years of training. I do not want to look anything like that. In my mind, I want to have the aesthetic physique. I want to have like the physique that girls find attractive. I want to have the physique that I can take shirtless pictures of. I want to be shirtless at the beach, right? That's what I'm working out for. This is my motive for going to the gym, right? That's what I'm thinking this whole time, right? So I literally, at that point, I just left the gym. One set into bench press. I left the gym. I went back home 30 minutes away, and then I just like came back to the gym 2-3 times before swapping gyms, right? That's like a whole other side point, right? But like, it's so absurd that the powerlifter guys, right, they'll go to the gym. Of course, their motive, they want to lift heavy weights, whatever, right? But they'll make it seem like it's the most outrageous thing for us to be training like neck, for us to be training upper, for us to be training for aesthetics. Overall, they make it seem like it's the most shallow thing, it's the most crazy, outrageous thing, right? In my gym, right, the gym that I go to right now, right, I'm the only person, and I'm telling you this, I go to the gym 6 times per week, every single week. I'm the only person that I know who trains neck. I've never come across a single person who's training neck, right? And my gym is usually crowded. There's lots of people that come to my gym. Not one person I've come across who trains neck. And the people, like, I've been going to the gym for like time now, so I know lots of people in there, right? I'll dap up like some of my friends. I'll talk to like lots of people in the gym, and whenever they see me training neck, they're like, "Yo, what's that for? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm training the neck, bro." Like, neck? You train neck? What does that do? I'm like, "Oh, the neck is part of the aesthetic muscles. You see these muscles right here. If you train them, they can reach hypertrophy, and then also at the same time, when your neck is like more aligned with your jawline, it gives you a more aesthetic appeal. Makes you look more muscular and everything. Especially since I had a very skinny neck, right? I can really tell the difference, right? Since I've been training neck for some time. And I'm explaining all these things. I'm like, also in line with the neck, even the traps. When you train the neck, you're also training the traps. You see the traps right here, they're always visible all the time. When you wear even a t-shirt, when you wear anything, your traps are visible, your neck is outside all the time. And if you develop these muscles, it's gonna look a lot more aesthetic, you're gonna look a lot more muscular and everything, right? And I'm just seeing their faces, they're like, I don't understand how. I didn't think it was common knowledge, of course, but like, no one just knows about this. No one talks about this, right? But also, again, I'm training for aesthetics, so I've also done like quite in-depth research of like the aesthetic muscles, right? So in my training, I only train the 7 aesthetic muscles, which is like neck, upper traps, lateral delts, which is like just your side delts, and then upper chest, and then abs and obliques, and then biceps, and then your lats, right? So I train these muscles, and amongst these muscles, things like lats are one of the most important ones, because the lats give you like the wider frame, which gives you a good shoulder to waist ratio. And then also you've got your lateral delts, which helps to give you more width on the upper part of your body and everything. So I've done a little bit in-depth research, right, on like the aesthetic muscles. But these guys, the power lifters, right, they make it seem like training these muscles is the most craziest thing ever, right? And we don't go over to them and judge them and say, look, you're training 1 rep, 3 reps, right? You look like shit. You've been training for time. Of course, you can lift 4 plates on the bench press, but it's not like when you walk around, people are going to be asking you what you bench press, what's your bench press outside the gym, right? No one cares how much you bench. Literally, like, it's almost pointless unless you're like doing it as a profession, right? Like, what's that going to give you? What's the output? Like, what's the results that you're going to get from lifting 4 plates on the bench press? You ask me, like, what's the results for aesthetics, whatever. You're going to get the female attraction, you're going to get the nice pictures, you're going to get whatever. I can go on and on, right, about what like the benefits of training for aesthetics are. But we don't go and judge them and say, stop doing that, come train traps with us, right? It's like, I do not understand what it is about like the power lifters that they think because they lift like 4 plates on fucking bench press, it's like they know everything about the world or some shit. It's the craziest thing, right? But anyways, past the power lifters, right? I've been training for like 15 months total now. So this is like, this is month 15 of training. And again, in the center of my training, I've already told you I train for the 7 aesthetic muscles. I've been doing this for time now, and like the results are exactly what I thought it would be, right? When I first went to the gym, I thought to myself, I'm going to build a nice aesthetic physique. I'm going to have just an attractive physique. Like the influencers that you look up to, right? The David Lades, the Alex Eubank, the Usain, all those guys, right? That's the type of physique that I wanted before I started training. And if you think about it, it's crazy because the David Lades, the influencers, they don't train like the powerlifters. They don't do 3 reps of bench press. They don't do squats. They don't do deadlifts. The only people that do the deadlifts are the fucking powerlifters, and they'll come to us. And then actually this is interesting because they're the same people who go around talk about but going to the gym only gets you attraction from men and not women, right? You've probably heard this quote before. Going to the gym only gets you attraction from men and not women, right? And yet they do fucking bench press, deadlifts and squats, right? But anyways, past that again, when I went to the gym, I was just looking up to like these influencers, and I was trying to just build an aesthetic physique like the influencers. So this is like the training that's really been getting me the results. I've been doing it for 15 months now, and this is the training that's really just gotten me the results on the physique that I want, right? I've added in like a little bit of extra things. I do legs now. I do like other types of training. Like I train forearms. I train like what are those? Triceps. Like all of this. I've got like 6 days of going to the gym, right? So I've got time to do this. Sometimes I go. I mean, in recent times, after my bulk. So I've been bulking for the last like 8 months. 7 months. I've just finished a huge bulk. I've gained like 30 pounds. Now I'm doing a cut. So I've been cutting for like 10 days now. I've just lost like so much energy, right? So it's like in my cut I've lost energy. So I've got like 5 times last week, but usually I'll go like 6 times to the gym, right? So it's just been this type of training that's been yielding me the best results that I really want, right? So that's about it. Like if you're gonna be training like a bench press and shit, that's just like kind of pointless, right? Like if you think about it, instead of training like bench press, the influencers like the David Lades and whatever, they don't train bench press, they train upper chest instead, right? They'll train their upper chest, they do their pec flies, they leave. They don't train like these powerlifters who go and just bench press 3 reps. They'll train like 10, 12 reps to failure of the upper chest. They'll do pec flies, then they'll leave, right? They have a different way of training, right? They'll do like just sets and reps of lateral delts. If you ask a powerlifter what's a lateral delt, they don't know what that is. They don't know how to, like, tell them spell lateral delt right now. They don't know how to spell that. So they don't know what that is, right? So it's just been like this type of training that's been yielding me the best results, and I've been doing it for like 15 months now. So that's about it. Like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel.